Hello everybody, this is Dr. Willis, and the purpose of this video is to do a walkthrough on how to create a correctly formatted MLA paper with Word as it comes with Office 365 Online, Word as an app, and then also with Google Docs. So the intent is to show you how to complete all this so you can do it on your own essay later on. So let me go ahead and minimize my face. Alrighty, so we're going to start with the app that most of my students have, which is the Office 365. So I'm in my email here. I click on the bottom little square thing, click on Go to Word. Okay, so we're going to create a blank document, and as we know from the MLA sample paper, we want to end up with our name, instructor name, class, and the date in the upper left of the first page, our last name and page number in the upper right, a good title, and then proper formatting on the paragraphs. And this is from the online writing lab at Purdue University that you see here. So we need to know how to do that. So as you can see, the defaults on Word are not to have Times New Roman 12-point font, which I ask of my students, and also we have to make sure that the spacing is correct. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to change the font to Times New Roman 12-point font. So the name of our student will just be student name, Dr. Willis. Class, we'll go with English 101. And the date the assignment is due. Why don't you put that due date of assignment. Okay, but we have to make sure that our spacing is correct and we're not doing more than double space. So what we're going to do is we're going to select the typing. You see these little three dots here. We have the ribbon options, but we want the three dots because we want to scroll down to line spacing. And when we click on line spacing, come on you, we want to go to line spacing options, and it's going to take us to here. Okay, now alignments left, all that sort of stuff. Here's the spacing issue that I see the most problems with. We want to set the spacing before and after to 0. The reason that we want to do this is if we don't set it to 0, when we hit return, it's going to do more than double space it. Then we go to line spacing and select double. Okay? And that should get us properly double spaced. So now that we're properly double spaced, we need our title. Now the title is centered, so in the Word Online version, we go up to this part of the bar right here, and this is the alignment button. We're going to align in the middle, title of the paper, and then we just go down one line, no extra space between the name stuff and the title or the title and the start of the paper. We go back to the left. Now we have to indent. First line of every paragraph should be indented. First line of the paper. Now, I've copied a sample essay so that I can fill in and have a second page. But you'll notice, indented. Oh, we need to indent the first line of that paragraph, and so on. Okay, so now our next task, again, to make it look like an MLA formatted paper, is we need our page numbers. Now in the online version of Word, we go to Insert, which is up here on the status bar. We want page numbers. We want the pages in the upper right. Okay, now a couple things. The entire paper needs to be in Times New Roman 12-point font. This is not Times New Roman. So what I did is I double-clicked on the header, and this just means that there's going to be a page number on every page. We need to put in our last name. The name of our student is name, and now you can really see that there's a difference between this font and this one. So we have to go back to the Home button, select our last name and page number, and come on, you turn it into Times New Roman 12-point font. Okay, so now we've got our last name and page number correct. We double click on the text, and as you can see, last name and page number goes onto the next body. So that's how we do it in Microsoft Word, the online version. As you can see, I'm on a tab. Okay, so let's do it on the actual app version of Word. Some of you may have this at home, and you might be using this. So we're going to do the same thing that we did last time. Make sure that we're in Times New Roman 12-point font, which we are. I've actually changed my defaults so that it's properly formatted, but we're going to do the same thing. Name, Dr. Willis, English 101. Date the assignment is due. So we're going to do the same thing here. So we're going to select it and go to paragraph. Now on the installed version, that's going to actually be one of your choices. But here you see has the spacing before and after. Again, we're looking for that spacing option. We need to set the before and after both to 0. Now we set the line spacing to double. Okay, now we're properly double spaced. You go to the next line, you can find the center button here. Title of the paper. Then we move it back to the left side. We indent first line of the essay. I'm going to paste it again so we get to a second page, and I'm making sure that all my paragraphs are indented, which they are. Although it looks like that's too much space right there. So sometimes you got to check it again, and we got to move it back to 0. Okay? And another thing you can do is hit Control-A. It'll select it all, and you can make sure that the spacing is correct. All right, so page numbers. I took this from a sample paper. That's why there's comments in the margins. We need to insert, which is an option up here. We need to insert the page number, top of the page. And we want it in the upper right. Now again, I have my defaults to Times New Roman 12-point font. But if you needed to change it in this version of Word, you select it, you go to the Home button, make sure, and I'll just change it and change it back real quick so you can see what it does. We'll select it again, and we've got Times New Roman 12-point font. Double click on the body, and we're good to go. And as you can see, the last name and page number automatically populates on the second page. All right, so that's the Word online and the Word that is installed on a computer. Many of you use Google Docs to create your documents. So I'm going to show you how to do it there as well. So I'm in my Google Drive. I'm going to do a new document. Google Docs. However you get to your Google Docs, this is the way you do it. All right, so we still need the same formatting. So I'm going to start similar to the way we started the other one. So I'm going to put student name. I almost put my name. Instructor name. Class. And the date. Let's make that due date. Now, as you can see, this is not double spaced. So what do we have to do? Well, we click on this. Where did I put it? Well, we'll change the text first. So I've selected the text, Times New Roman, 12-point font. Okay. I did this yesterday. Where is it? Line numbers. We don't need that. Word count, spelling, grammar, citations. Sorry for the pause. I had to remember. I don't use Google Docs a lot, so I was figuring this out yesterday. But go into here. We select our stuff, and we go to Format, up here on the toolbar, Format, Line and Paragraph Spacing. So we want it to be double, so we're double spaced. Now we also want to make sure that our line and paragraph spacing is correct. So we look here, well, we don't need to add space before the paragraph, and we don't need to add space after, so we should be good to go there. All right, so after that, we go down to the next line, and now we need to center it again. Here's the align and indent right up here. That's going to be in the 3 dots, okay? So I click on the 3 dots, alignment, oops, wrong, went to the wrong line. Center it, title of the paper. Go down just 1 line, indent, and you can either hit the tab button, T-A-B, or you can indent 5 spaces. First line of the paper. And I'm going to throw in the rest of the paper. I'm not sure if that's going to work well. Doesn't look like it, so we'll do something else there, which is fine. Okay, so before I show you, before we check to see if our last name and page number is in the second page, we need to insert our page numbers in the upper right, just like we did in Word. So, insert, excuse me, not insert, format, page numbers. So once again, we're doing our page numbers. We're going to go to Format, Page Numbers, start at 1, apply. Okay, so we have a page number, but this is an Arial. Again, same issue. So let's go ahead and type our last name. Then we select all of it. Turn the font into Times New Roman 12-point font. Click on the body of the paper. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit return to the second page, and you'll see that the last name and page number in Times New Roman 12-point font is there as well. Okay, so I hope you found this useful in order to format your papers correctly. I would like to remind everybody that, at least in my classes, the first paper in composition classes, I will give you feedback on your formatting and hope that you make a good effort. So if you make a mistake or two, it's fine. But starting with the second paper, I'd take points off. If you're in a literature class, since you've had your 2 composition classes, you will need to make sure that you format it correctly the first time. Okay? If you have any questions, always contact me, but I really appreciate your attention to this video. And let's go format those papers correctly. Again, thank you very much.